Hello, everyone. Good evening. I think there's some seats up here for those people in the back. Nice, standing room only. Very exciting. So, and very rare for us to have good weather, right? Does everybody remember that it's either raining or snowing every time we have this event? So a rare bit of weather, but expected traffic. But thank you all for making the time to be here with us. It's a very exciting time, and we're excited to spend the evening with all of you and talk about all the good things that we've been able to do. I'm Susan Fox, the chairperson of the Westchester County Association, and as you heard, also president and CEO of White Plains Hospital. It is my pleasure to welcome every single person here tonight to the 2023 Leadership Event. As we celebrate the power of leadership, I would like to start by welcoming our elected officials who always make the time to show their support. I think some people may have come and go, but I'm just going to go for the names, and if I miss somebody, please raise your hand. I know that the county executive is here tonight. George, where are you? There he is, over there. And I know he always does a great job, and we're so thankful for individuals in his office to come. I see a few faces, but I know George always likes to introduce them yourself and give kudos to all your hardworking people. And also from the Assemblyman, Steve Otis, is he here? Steve? The county legislators, Catherine Parker and Nancy Barr. I hope our New Rochelle Mayor, Noam Bramson, is here because he's being honored tonight. Did I miss anybody? Anybody want to point? Okay, great. Well, thank you for being here. I would also like to acknowledge the WCA Board of Directors. It has been my honor to lead this board, and I would like to ask my fellow board members to please stand and be recognized. Please. And a special recognition, because he doesn't get the credit, to our vice chair, Chris Fisher of Cuddy Vader. Over the past 2 years, Chris has become a fast friend, a bestie, I would call him at this point. If I am honest, he has acted more as a co-chair, attending every meeting, participating in strategy, running 2 committees, stepping in for me when I can't be there, and even providing some just-in-time therapy when needed, which is a little too often. Chris, I couldn't be more thankful to you. Thank you for being my bestie. I would also like to acknowledge and thank Andrew Weiss. Andrew, where are you sitting? I know I saw you. There you are. Okay. Over the last year, Andrew has stepped up and taken on the role of developing a new leader roundtable. That is very exciting. We're going to hear a little bit more about that a little bit later in the program. And we're also going to be introducing our new Leader Trailblazer Awardee tonight, which is the first time we will be doing so. So very exciting on that note. Thank you, Andrew. It's energizing to look around the room this evening and see so many people, more than 400, I think I heard 420, but maybe there's more, and there are seats over here, guys, okay? All committed to building and supporting a healthy and vibrant Westchester. Many of you already are members of the Westchester County Association, and if you're not, we hope that tonight's program will inspire you to join us. Our theme tonight, Impact in Action. This evening, we will celebrate 4 leaders who undoubtedly have made an impact on our community. Dr. Christopher Hillier, President and CEO of the New York Blood Center Enterprises, whose team is new to Westchester County. Their efforts have helped save millions of lives naturally. Welcome to the neighborhood. Mayor Noam Bramson, who we introduced a few minutes ago, who has overseen incredible transformation of the city of New Rochelle in his 18 years in office. Incredible, and there's some changes on the horizon for you. Congratulations on your new role as Director of Sustainable Westchester. I didn't get to meet Kristen, but I see her right here. Kristen Motel, who's a partner at Cuddy Fader and the recipient of our inaugural New Leader Trailblazer Award. Kristen, congratulations. And finally, Jane Solnick, our Director of Regional and Community Affairs at Con Edison, who will be receiving the coveted Al Del Bello Visionary Award. Congratulations. We are so excited for all of you, and congratulations on these well-deserved honors. Finally, I would like to thank the Platinum sponsors, as well as tonight's event sponsor and event supporters who helped make this evening, I'll say it a little in advance, a great success. It's going to be a great success. Thank you all. It's now my pleasure to ask our County Executive, George Latimer, to come up to the podium to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Susan, and it's a great honor to be here tonight and to see the 4 honorees that we have that are all individuals who've made great contribution to this county. Kristen's work is exemplary with one of the most prominent law firms in the county. Dr. Christopher Hillier, who's going to be my new next-door neighbor in the city of Rye, where I live. He lives next door as well. We're very happy to have New York Blood Center with us here. And then, of course, on a personal level, because I've known Jane Solnick for a long, long time, and all the work that she's done and that's helped the county through the Parks Foundation and the things that they've sponsored. And then my friend, my countryman, Noam Bramson, who has done a brilliant job in New Rochelle over these years. I have to tell you, anybody who's in public office wants to have a legacy, and whatever that means. Dee Del Bello is here, and her husband, Al Del Bello, had a legacy. He created things that are still to this day vibrant and valuable. Not many of us do. What Noam Bramson has done in downtown New Rochelle is incredible. And years from now, people will look back at his tenure as the pivotal tenure in what happened to that city. So I'm glad you're honoring him tonight for his great work. We have a county contingent here, and I'd like them all to stand up, which is sort of a visual way of showing you what our commitment is to be here. I'd stand up, come on, Joan McDonald, Ken Jenkins, all the people, Blanca Lopez is out there. Stand up, stand up. Stand up or you're fired. Come on, stand up. And I learned a long time ago during my years in corporate work that if it were not for talented people around you, you'd be a failure. And I think sometimes we may forget that, those of us in government, but I don't forget it. These talented people, Joan McDonald on down, have made all of these things happen. Tonight is a statement about what Westchester is. Not Westchester's government, but Westchester as a county. This is a cooperative effort between the business community, between individuals who are philanthropic and who also are committed in and of their own selves to see the betterment of a community. The not-for-profit community is in this room, and also the government is in this room in a cooperative fashion. We have seen levels of government, I've served in a couple of them already, but we've seen levels of government where acrimony and opposition is all that gets accomplished. We try not to be that way in Westchester County. Economic development will not come unless we can follow the path of what tonight is, which is cooperation between all of those different players, finding common ground, maintaining respect, and even when we disagree on issues, that we still maintain the underlying respect for each other. Before I leave the program, let me make a statement about capitalism. You may not think that you have to say this, but sometimes I feel I have to when I see some of the zeitgeist out in the world. The economic system that we have has its flaws, and there are people that have abused what benefit comes out of capitalism. But the greatest economic wealth that has been seen in this world has come out of the United States and the Western democracies of Europe, Japan, and so forth, understanding that there is a way to grow and rise the rising boats with the rising tide of all boats, people of all different demographics and backgrounds. To think that there's an imaginary world out there where there's a managed economy and it'll work, it's never been proven in the history of the society. This room proves that we can grow our economy, we can grow it for the benefit of a larger number of people, and we can do it by improving the system we have rather than coming up with some imaginary tear down and rebuilding of the system as it exists. And that's a Democrat saying that. I'm happy to be with you tonight. Thank you very much for all the good you do, Susan and Mike Romita, and we're happy to be a partner with you. Have a good night.
Thank you, so much, George. You always are a welcome and committed individual that comes to all of our events to show your leadership and to show your partnership. We very much thank you for all of that and specifically for being here tonight. It is hard to believe that Mike Romita, our president and CEO, has been our leader for almost 4 years, starting with the association in March of 2020, just a few days before COVID. Nice timing. Bill Mooney is here as well, and Joan, his wife. We can wave at the end there. Bill, I think any generation in this room will never forget you or your leadership, and we're so glad that you continue to come and stay and support our organization. It's been quite a 4 years, Michael, and I've been with you for 2 years as your chairperson. I don't think Bill Harrington is here. Is Bill here? No. But Bill was chairperson of this board for quite a while, and we are very grateful for him also. But, you know, we have been looking at what we need to do in the future, and surprisingly, a lot of what we have needed to do is to continue to build on what we've done. And I think you'll see a lot of evidence of that tonight. Michael and his staff have been advancing those strategic priorities over the years. His lean team, combined with our board and our membership, has been a powerful combination that, again, we continue to build on. Over the past year, we have worked hard to continue to fortify the effectiveness of the association through our 5 strategic priorities. I would like to take a moment and formally thank our committee leaders for their time and talent. And so starting with Ashish Arora, Senior Vice President at the Bank of America, chairing our newest committee, Energy and Sustainability. Ashish, where are you? There, thank you. Bill Cuddy, Executive Vice President for CBRE, chairing our Real Estate Task Force. Bill, are you here? I didn't see you. There he is in the back, and I think you are the longest chairperson. I think you get that. Yes, yes. Our co-chairs of our healthcare consortium, Derek Anderson, Executive Director of Northern Westchester Hospital, and Bill, our former chairman and managing partner at Bleakley, Platt and Schmidt. Thank you for chairing our healthcare consortium. Robin White, the Director of the New York City and Westchester External Affairs for AT&T, and Chris Fisher, who I mentioned a little bit earlier. Thank you so much for chairing our Digital Connectivity Committee and all of its efforts. And that's one. One more second. And lastly, Mary Amato, partner at Cohn Resnick, Brian Amkrat, VP of Workforce Credentialing and Community Impact at Mercer University, and Ali Federico, chairperson of the Westchester Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, for leading our Workforce Committee. We are so grateful for your time and your leadership and your efforts working with us hand in hand on advancing these priorities for our county. Thank you. And of course, the membership and others have participated in the work of those committees. We look at all of these names. Wow. There's a lot of people working together, right? It's kind of amazing. My personal mantra for this last several years has been, we only have so much time to make a difference. Proudly displayed in the foyer are storyboards highlighting this year's accomplishments of how the WCA is making a difference. And we have also brought our story to life with this year's video. Please turn your attention to the screens as we will see WCA's impact in action. Thank you.
Welcome to Profit and Purpose 2023, the WCA Sustainable Business Conference. There's a lot of confusion out there about exactly what sustainability means, and the best way to cut through the filter is to bring thought leaders together from all sectors of the economy. Our businesses, our nonprofit community, our higher ed. Nothing like this existed until we created it last year.
We are the leading environmental law program in the country, and it's all about exchanging ideas and raising the level of discourse around how we build a more sustainable future.
I am the co-chair of the WCA Sustainable Working Group, working with Pace Law School to develop a policy playbook for sustainability. And really what that will offer is some kind of guidance around best practices.
We're also trying to give our members and the community practical tools for how they can use these concepts.
I've been very focused in the real estate group, particularly our work on housing. We have a housing problem, we have an affordability problem. None of that gets solved until we're able to produce more housing in general.
The housing crisis is real. There are numerous folks that are completely boxed out of living in New York State, all different economic levels, which is why I'm so excited about continuing to develop multifamily mixed-use development in Westchester County and the surrounding region.
With the real estate subcommittee, I think we've done some great work, some great advocacy, and I look forward to continuing to push those initiatives forward.
We live in an increasingly digitally driven world where access to high-speed connections and the infrastructure behind those is becoming increasingly important. So the Y-Zone was a phenomenal use of public-private partnership, where you have nonprofits and business entities and government officials all working together to connect people who weren't connected otherwise.
This is truly a one-of-a-kind initiative across the state that our county is stepping forward and making such a large investment in digital equity.
This new program is going to be implemented as a partnership between the county, the STEM Alliance, the Westchester County Association, and the Westchester Library System to all help members of our community make a significant step forward.
Westchester Community Health Center has been in existence for 50 years, and prior to joining WCA, we were sort of an entity out there on our own. WCA advocates on our behalf.
We focus our legislative and regulatory priorities on securing funding for providers, passing workforce flexibility legislation, and addressing systemic market imbalances.
So it's no secret that every industry, including healthcare, has been challenged by talent and shortages of talent. Recently, we had a consortium where we brought people together from the colleges, the universities, and all of the healthcare institutions. One of the clear examples of where the WCA has added value for the healthcare industry here in Westchester is the job grant.
To date, these programs have trained 180 potential healthcare workers, with another 50 in training this fall. And our area healthcare employers have already hired 90 highly qualified program graduates.
There's been a pipeline of staff that's been provided as a result of our relationship with WCA, and specifically medical assistants.
There's very little that we can do alone as individual entities.
These WCA events really provides an incredibly unique opportunity to be in the room where things happen.
There is never a session that a group from WCA doesn't come up and spend time talking with us in the legislatures on every single one of the 5 points that they focus on.
It's about meeting the challenges, so there's sort of a think tank aspect to the organization, but then it's about, okay, now that we've thought about it, now let's go out and do it. What you haven't asked, where does WCA go next?
Hey everyone, I'm Michael. It says so up on the screen back there. My father, Mara Romita, is here tonight. Dad, thank you for coming. Whatever little I accomplish through the WCA to help the community and help businesses is really because I stand on the shoulders of my parents and the rest of my family. So thank you for setting the way, and my one job is to not screw up the reputation that you left for us, Pop, so thank you. George and Ken, thanks for showing up. There is a red light at 2 o'clock a.m. down to Puerto Rico if you still want to make it. We'll get you a little bit liquored up later. You'll never know the difference. I was at the county budget presser this morning, and the video talked a little bit about this incredible talent pipeline initiative that we're running that's been funded by the county, and I'm delighted to learn this morning that they're funding it for an additional year. So thank you so much to the county for stepping up and doing that. And frankly, looking out to everyone in the audience is somewhat reaffirming, particularly when you have a teenager at home. It can seem like the world is a very troubled place, increasing intolerance and tribalism for sure. But we live and work in a county where businesses, nonprofits, and communities can still come together to make good things happen and lift each other up. David Garten, are you in the audience someplace? Joe Graziosi couldn't make it today, but David, Joe had a lot of really important stuff to say about affordable housing, but as we were looking at rough cuts, everybody was asking what's with Romita and the pink socks. So I'll promise not to do that again next year. But what we do to lift each other up is in no small part due to the dedication of our incredible board of directors led by Susan and Chris Fisher. This year, several board members are moving on from their professional posts. They include Anthony Viceroy, whose last day at WestMed Summit Health was Friday, Tim Hall, the former president of Mercy University, and of course Bob Glazer, who built ENT and Allergy Associates into a specialty practice juggernaut. So we celebrate their achievements and wish them the best in the next endeavors of their lives. Now to Dean Anderson at PACE asking what's next. Horace, I got my JD 30 plus years ago. I have done federal jury trials. I have argued federal appeals. I have helped build and sell companies. And I still have my law school professors asking me, okay, Romita, great work. What are you doing now? So to Horace and the rest of the board and the rest of the community, so much of what we do requires staying power. It's spotting trends, it's building alliances, it's growing interest and support, it's constant advocacy, and it's not for the easily distracted. But you ask yourselves, what issues are at the top of the public economic discourse in the region right now? What is everyone talking about? Workforce, housing, workforce housing, climate action and sustainability, healthcare, digital equity, artificial intelligence. Now, how long has the WCA been working on these issues? And ask yourself who has brought them to the forefront. Nevertheless, as Dean Anderson notes, markers are important. So to build on that work and to tell you what's next, we are launching a workforce initiative we are calling the 1,000 Jobs Challenge. 5 years, 1,000 high-demand jobs filled, over $60 million of annual economic impact. With our own Jason Chapin helming this initiative and led by our workforce committee, we will act in organized fashion through our working groups, our committees, our job fairs, our symposiums, career days, grant initiatives, all to help Westchester's talent needs and attract young working professionals here in the county. I hope you all will join our work and help us out. And to introduce what else is next at the WCA, I'd like to invite Andrew Weiss and Brad Schwartz to the podium.
Thank you, Michael. Good evening, everyone. It's good to be with you. It's a pleasure for Brad Schwartz and I to be up here tonight to not only introduce the WCA's newest initiative, the New Leaders Roundtable, but also present the inaugural Trailblazer Award. Earlier this year, with the support of the WCA team and the board, we formed the Westchester County Association New Leaders Roundtable. This exciting new initiative convenes an accomplished group of Westchester's new generation of professional leaders who bring a fresh perspective to improving the county's economic vitality. Our mission is to ensure that the priorities of Westchester's emerging leaders are reflected in the work of the association and advanced throughout the region. At this time, I would ask for the roundtable members that are in the room, if you could please stand or wave if you're standing so that we can acknowledge you.
Good evening. And what makes our roundtable so unique is that we are so much more than just a networking group. Our model is to originate and collaborate on various initiatives that can make a real difference right here in Westchester County. As an example, we have partnered with a nonprofit called Yonkers Partners in Education, or naturally YPI for short. YPI serves more than 1,000 students, high school students, in the Yonkers public high school system and provides all types of support. Our roundtable is engaging in a series of career discussions and mentoring opportunities with the YPI students. A few weeks ago, and this picture was taken from this event, we participated and attended at a fair called the College and Career Day. We spent hours that evening speaking to high school students about our respective work experiences and career paths. And those students left that night with a newfound exposure to many career paths, again, right here in Westchester. The evening was a huge success, and it was rewarding for all of us who participated. As we continue to grow our roundtable and take on new initiatives, for anyone out there tonight who wants to come and join us in our work, please reach out to myself, Andrew, or Michael, wherever you just went. We'd love to have a conversation and welcome new members on.
So as I mentioned, tonight we also have the distinct pleasure of presenting the inaugural Trailblazer Award. The recipient will be selected annually by the New Leaders Roundtable and given to a young business leader who embodies our ethos of professionalism, accomplishment, and service. Frankly, this year's Trailblazer Award recipient, Kristen Motel, was an absolute no-brainer. Kristen is not only a talented attorney and a partner at the law firm of Cuddy & Fader, where she specializes in land use, zoning, environmental, and cannabis law, but she's also a staunch supporter of smart development and sustainability here in Westchester. Kristen's leadership extends beyond just her legal practice. She's involved in a number of business and philanthropic organizations throughout the region, including co-chair of the WCA's Real Estate Sustainability Committee. And I can't fail to mention, I know Pace is in the house tonight. Kristen is a proud alum of Pace Law School here in Westchester County. So with all that being said, Kristen is undoubtedly a rising star and leader in our business community, and we simply could not be more proud to have her join us on the stage to accept the 2023 Trailblazer Award.
Thank you to the WCA and everyone here tonight. I just want to say I have so much respect for this organization. You heard about all the work WCA does. They really are addressing some of the biggest issues facing the county and businesses of our time. It's so important and meaningful, and I am really, really proud to be a part of it. Thanks to Chris Fisher for getting me involved in the WCA in the first place, and Michael Ramita for letting me run with the sustainability initiative initiatives. I'm so proud to be able to work with PACE on that because I am a very proud PACE Law alum. And thank you also to the incredible women of the WCA, because when I came along, they really just lifted me up and supported me. So I want to give a shout out to them and my colleagues at Cuddy and Fader for encouraging my involvement and supporting me, especially over the last few years. I work at the best law firm in the Hudson Valley, in case anyone was wondering. And finally, thanks to my parents, because I would not be where I am without them, and I credit all my success to them. So congratulations to my fellow recipients, and thank you to the WCA.
So what's next? Amy, are you next? Amy Allen to the podium to give out our next award.
Thanks, Michael, and good evening, everyone. It's great to see all of you. For those of you who don't know me, I am Amy Allen, Vice President at the Westchester County Association, and it's my pleasure to present this WCA Leadership Award to Dr. Christopher Hillier, President and CEO of New York Blood Center Enterprises. Dr. Hillier is an internationally recognized expert in hematology, transfusion and transplantation, cellular therapies, and many other things most of us can't pronounce or understand. During his distinguished career, Dr. Hillier has had proven success as a business executive, scientist, board member, and global leader. During his tenure, Dr. Hillier has transformed New York Blood Center Enterprises into a $550 million a year, multifaceted life sciences organization with global reach. Today, they serve more than 50 million people in over 600 hospitals and other institutions in nearly 45 countries. But most important to all of us, under Dr. Hillier's leadership, New York Blood Center is transforming the former Avon facility in Rye into the organization's new Tri-State Operations Center, its first ever single campus. Michael and I had the opportunity to attend the facility's groundbreaking in June, and it is truly transformational. What a great example of repurposing obsolete commercial inventory. This 187,000 square foot facility will house New York Blood Center's research, manufacturing, and other operations, and close to 1,000 employees. There's our 1,000 jobs. We're done, right? Once operational in mid to late 2024, this will certainly go a long way towards growing our region's life science and healthcare sector, and we at the WCA look forward to our continued partnership. Please join me in congratulating Dr. Christopher Hillier, President and CEO of New York Blood Center.
Go with this right here.
All right, so we're the new kid on the block, right? And we have had such a warm and wonderful welcome. So thanks to Amy and Michael and Susan for the WCA and for the Local Development Corporation and all the others of you, from the teachers, the educators. Congratulations on your new award. And we really look forward to being part of Westchester. We're thrilled to be here. And I started this journey 10 years ago exactly. Where can we move the Blood Center so that we can bring 5 campuses to one place, that we could be at the intersection of big roads, highways, parkways, other ways that the truck should or should not get stuck under, and, and make sure all the jobs that we could create would be valuable to the community and to the people that we're just talking about with 1,000 jobs and with the talent pipeline. Very exciting. We very much want to partner. Our strategic plan, our strategic vision is really just we do strategic partnerships. We're about people. Blood is about people. We do nothing but try and save lives. I mean, that's what we do every day. And I actually believe it, and we actually do it. So I think of us as a people-to-people business times 3. We're people giving blood, people collecting the blood, and then people who need the blood. And so we need blood all the time. This whole country is about 15% below what it needs to really run a high-end medical and surgical establishment and for trauma and burn and pediatrics and all sorts of things that are critical. So I'd like everyone to think about being a donor. Please come donate. Please come see our center. Please just pick up the phone or the internet or whatever net we want to pick these days with the digital equity, and get in touch with us. Our whole senior leadership team is here. Please introduce yourselves. Please, how can we help you? How can you help us? And so we would very, very much like to help people. We're for people, by people, to people. Thank you very much for the award. We're thrilled to be, absolutely thrilled to be here. Thrilled to have a chance to help renovate the Avon building, a historic place, and very, very, very pleased to be part of the WCA. So thank you very much.
Good evening. I'm Chris Fisher, Vice Chair of the Westchester County Association. It's really wonderful to be here with so many colleagues and friends. Susan, thank you for your very warm remarks. This is literally a who's who of Westchester. You're all influencers, and we're really excited to have you here this evening. Can we also just get a quick round of applause for Michael and his team for an awesome event? Thank you. So as you know, the Westchester County Association gathers annually. We celebrate a few select individuals who've really dedicated themselves to Westchester and embody what it means to be a leader. Tonight we honor Dr. Hillier, Jane Solnick, my partner Kristen Motel, and Mayor Noam Bramson for their exemplary contributions. I'm here to share with you a little bit about why our good friend Mayor Bramson is such a fitting honoree. For those of you who don't know his story, Noam's a first-generation American son of Jewish refugees who met in Israel and immigrated to New Rochelle. Noam excelled at New Rochelle High, went on to graduate from Harvard in 3 years. He also earned a master's there in public policy. Noam put those degrees to quick work and joined Congresswoman Nita Lowey. He worked there for a decade advocating for all of us in Washington. Noam first held public office at the youthful age of 25 when he was enthusiastically elected to the city council. Noam overwhelmingly was reelected by the people of New Rochelle for the next 3 decades. And for the past 18 years, he proudly served the city he loves as mayor. It's said in the Talmud that one who is appointed over a community becomes the servant to the community. That expression affirms that leadership is not about power or prestige, but about service and responsibility, remaining humble, compassionate, and attentive to the needs and interests of one community as duty and not privilege. Mayor Bramson exemplifies exactly that, and he has lived it to extraordinary success for the city's residents, businesses, and institutions that call New Rochelle home. He led the city through the last Great Recession, and then through the pandemic when New Rochelle was literally the epicenter of a deadly global new virus. And through all those challenges, Mayor Bramson never lost sight of a vision for the city that would honor its cultural diversity and suburban heritage while also unleashing economic opportunity and affordability through growth in the city's urban core. Mayor Bramson has been tenacious in securing grants for critical infrastructure, transportation, parks, public access to the sound, and many more. He's made city streets safer as part of his national work on the Mayors Against Illegal Guns Coalition. Mayor Bramson also had the courage to adopt new municipal approaches to climate change and implemented those as part of New Rochelle's first sustainability plan. The result? The greatest growth the city of New Rochelle has seen in over a century. An emerging and sophisticated skyline that serves as a shining beacon and testament to both his legacy and New Rochelle's success. New Row has certainly arrived. And Noam still looks like he did in his 26 campaign photo. As you know, this is the mayor's last year, and he's decided to step down, and he's doing that having fulfilled the promises to really usher in a new era for the city. Like all great leaders, he recognized and appreciated that the foundation was more than laid in New Rochelle, and it's time for a new generation for new perspectives to be leading the city. But New Rochelle's loss is certainly our gain. We're really excited that the mayor will be bringing his talents and creating thriving, modern, sustainable communities to a new leadership role at Sustainable Westchester, an organization he helped found. So tonight we honor, recognize, and celebrate the remarkable achievements and tireless dedication of Mayor Noam Bramson to the people of New Rochelle and Westchester. So on behalf of all the members of WCA, Mayor, please join me and accept this WCA Leadership Award.
Chris, my mother could not have done better than that. So I really am kind of overwhelmed by those generous remarks, which made me feel simultaneously proud and old, which is an interesting blend. So thank you so much for that. I want to congratulate my fellow honorees. What a wonderful group. It's a privilege to be at your sides. Particularly nice to be with Jane Solnick outside the context of a crisis, so that I'm not begging her to restore power somewhere. This is someone of infinite patience and equanimity, so I'm glad to be with you and with the other honorees. And of course, I want to thank the entire Westchester County Association, most especially Michael, who I think we all know is someone with such an enormous depth of knowledge about government and business and law and policy and the nexus between all those things. And that is why he's exactly the right person to lead this organization and why he is such a wonderful asset for our entire region. Although I do have a bone to pick, because here I am standing beneath an enormous picture of the skyline of White Plains. Like, what the? Couldn't get a real city for the. I am truly humbled that you have chosen to recognize New Rochelle. And as I wrap up 28 years in municipal government, which sounds kind of nuts, I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything that would be more gratifying. And I think there's reason for this, because in the course of the last generation, New Rochelle has emerged from being a cautionary tale that its best days seemed to be behind it. Its government couldn't get out of the way of itself. It was having difficulty attracting investment, and now I think is widely and rightly seen as a positive model, as an example of how creative policymaking can breathe life and energy into a downtown and ensure that, in fact, we are the fastest growing city in all of New York State, which is a remarkable achievement. And the point I want to make is what happens in places like New Rochelle matters beyond our borders. What happens in White Plains matters. What happens in Yonkers matters. What happens in Mount Vernon matters, and Portchester and Peekskill and Ossining, because the world needs places like that are diverse, that strive to be equitable, that exemplify sustainable patterns of land use, that produce the housing that our region and state and nation need. The world needs places like this where we have stages for common experience, and it's vital that cities like this have a future, have a claim on our imagination, have a claim on the next generation that will choose where they want to live. So I'm thrilled that we're able to celebrate those achievements. And the last thing I'll say is this: even though it's my big mug up there, and if you looked at the invitation to this event, it said in big letters, Mayor Noam Bramson, and then in small letters, and the city of New Rochelle. As nice as that is for my ego, I'm forced to admit that the proportions ought to have been reversed, because I'm just one of many players. And I am so thankful to the elected officials, to the planning professionals, to the appointed officials, to the partners that we've had in the private sector, all of whom together have helped ensure that New Rochelle's best days are ahead. Thank you all very much.
One of the things I really love about this job is you have to be on your game every second. We did have a picture of Tom Roach up there before, but we took it down just in time. I just want to say that. Now it's my distinct pleasure to welcome Dee Del Bello to the stage to join me to give out our last award of the evening. For the past decade, a special part of the WCA's annual leadership event has been the presentation of the Al Del Bello Visionary Award. Al had an incredibly distinguished political career, serving as Lieutenant Governor of the state of New York, Mayor of the city of Yonkers, and the Westchester County Executive. Most importantly to us at the WCA, he was our board chair and led the way for many groundbreaking healthcare, economic development, and political advocacy initiatives. So to honor Al's legacy, we created an award in his name to be given to a deserving business leader who carries out his career-spanning vision of making our community better and more viable. We have past recipients, recently Bill Harrington, Robert Weiss, Andrew's dad, Congressman Nita Lowey, and others. And what makes this event even more special is that it is presented each year by Al's lifelong partner and widow, Dee Del Bello, the publisher of West Fair Communications.
Yes, who now needs help getting upstairs. How the years have come and gone and continue to evolve. It's just a wonderful life and a wonderful world, no matter how many problems we have to endure each day. So I want to especially thank Michael for keeping Al's memory alive within the County Association and the county, and perpetuating his legacy over these many, many years, and giving me the honor tonight to present the Al Del Bello Visionary Award to Jane Solnick, Director of Regional and Community Affairs at Con Edison. Jane has spent her career in the energy industry and recently celebrated her 15th anniversary with Con Edison. Earlier this year, she received Con Edison's highest corporate award, Living Our Values. As a face of Con Edison, Jane serves as a tenacious, steadfast presence when the county is in crisis. She can be found working with business leaders, county officials, and community representatives to ensure businesses and nonprofits remain open. That is when she is at her best. On blue sky days, she's out and about, building and fortifying relationships. Her company's cell number is on the speed dial of most elected officials in the county, and many have her private cell number too. You don't run away from those calls that come in, Jane, do you? I guess you can't. As we look toward the future, Jane has a firsthand understanding of the impacts of climate change and is dedicated to providing sustainable energy to Westchester's communities. She's helped to launch the WCA's annual Profit and Purpose Sustainable Business Conference, and along with Michael, plays a leading role in WCA's efforts to prepare businesses for a clean energy future. Congratulations, Jane. Where are you? There you are.
Wow, there's a lot of people in this room. I have to take a moment to especially thank Dee and just point out that my dad, who is long since passed, was a great admirer of Al's. So it's especially touching to me to receive this award tonight. So thank you. And thank you so much. I just have to tell you, it's bittersweet. I consider Westchester my home for my life. And I have to say that I truly stand in awe of what the WCA is doing. The WCA is definitely making our community a more viable and stronger community. So for that, I thank all of you in this room. You're doing a great job. And I have to thank Con Edison for putting me in this position to represent them here in the county. By doing so, they have opened up the doors to me to meet a fair amount of you in this room, not just on those rainy, stormy days, on blue sky days too. So I've gotten to know many of you, and I appreciate the collaboration. And I also appreciate the collaboration with the WCA in looking at the sustainability of our future. Clean energy is where Con Edison is focused. I know many of you in the room here are focused that way, and we want to proceed forward, and I think WCA is wrapping their arms around it. So we look forward to being their partner in it. But I have to stop and say, I'm here, but I'm not here because of just me. The team that I work with at Con Edison, I couldn't be prouder of, and I couldn't thank enough for being so supportive to me. Because of you is why I am here representing you. So thank you for all of you, what you do. I also would be remiss if I didn't mention my family, who they have been my rock, and they have definitely been, they keep me grounded. They definitely keep me grounded. My 3 sons are here with me today, and my wonderful daughter-in-law and my, of course, adorable grandchildren is why I do what I do, making the world a better place for them. I also want to take a moment, it has been mentioned here today, that I want to acknowledge the nonprofits. The nonprofits, many of which are near and dear to my heart, are the backbone of our society. And they provide critical services that contribute also to the economic stability and mobility of the county. So, in recognition of this, all I can say is thank you, thank you, thank you. I look forward to continuing to work with you. I can look forward to the WCA advancing everything that they're working on. I think it was shown here today. They're doing great things, and I look forward to being a part of it. To my fellow honorees, I congratulate you. I know many of you, and I look forward to us continuing to work together. Thank you for all that you've done.
And I can wrap up with just a couple of quick more thanks. This 70-plus-year-old experiment only works because of the dedication of our board of directors and our members. The checks are great. We need those to keep the lights on. But these people dedicate their time and their effort and their gray matter, and that's the only reason this works. So Susan and Chris and the rest of the board and all the membership, thank you so much for supporting the work. Also, thanks to the staff. If you're not standing already, please stand up. Amy and Jason and Melissa and Kathy and Aurora, you lift me up every day, and you've made tonight a great success. Now, please join us out back for some cocktails, heavy hors d'oeuvres, and some good networking. Thanks, everyone. Good night.